Hi everyone, my name's Ruth Davey, and I run a small organisation called Look Again, and it's an absolute pleasure to be with you all here today on this special day. So obviously I recorded this beforehand, so I actually came up to this lovely spot this morning on my walk. I live in Stroud in Gloucestershire in the UK, which is it's about 2 hours west of London. And I discovered, I was exploring and saw something quite meaningful to me this morning, so I thought I'd actually come back up here today so that I could share this with you. So what do I do? In a nutshell, Look Again is about using a combination or a blend of mindfulness with photography as well as being in nature to help people slow down, to look again, and to really see their lives in a different way. Not just necessarily their lives, but their work, their communities, and the bigger world around them. And I do this partly because of my own experience of mental health challenges over the years. So my background is actually not photography at all. My background is community and business development. And to cut a very long story short, after about 25 years of work experience working in London, West Africa, where I set up an arts and education programme, and then doing inner city regeneration work in Bristol for 10 years. I then moved to Stroud and developed my love of photography more seriously. I've always loved photography. My father gave me my first camera when I was 10 or 11. Which I always treasured. And then my first film SLR, I bought my first one when I was 19. And when I was 21, I was travelling in the northeast part of Kenya, and somehow, it's a very long story, but basically my camera was stolen at gunpoint by some bandits on a stretch of road there, which was the most terrifying experience of my life. However, I survived, and I remember that when I need courage and resilience. I don't actually know quite what happened to the camera, but that's a story for another day. It was only about 13 years ago when I started to take photography more seriously. And to cut another long story short, I had a few exhibitions, started getting photography commissions, but my idea was always that I wanted to use my love and experience of photography with community development and to somehow help others find their voice through photography. But this wasn't an easy journey, and I'm a single parent, and it was really tough to make a living doing what I was hoping to do. And I got various part-time jobs as well to see me through. So but things were tough, and at times I had challenges with anxiety and a couple of episodes of depression. And then about 5 years ago, I had what at the time I referred to as a breakdown, and I couldn't get out of bed, and it was really quite scary, and I could just about get my son to get to school and make sure he was fed, and that was about it really. So I couldn't work for a while. And then as part of my recovery process, I thought, well, what do I really love in life? And I knew that photography was part of that, and nature, and walking in nature. And by then I'd also got into mindfulness, although I wasn't practicing it in the way that I have done since, but I started to take that a bit more seriously as well. And I started combining these four things and realised quite soon that this was really helping me to calm down, to become more consciously aware of the moment, and that by taking more notice of what was around me in this more considered and conscious way, that I became a lot more grateful for what I have, and for what I had back then, and started to really appreciate things in a different way. And I also started to connect with nature, and I guess to trust nature in a way that I hadn't really done, well, not in a conscious way before anyway. So that brings me to kind of now, in the sense that as a result of that experience, I then developed my methodology in mindful photography, which focuses very much on the 5 ways to wellbeing, which is to be active, to keep learning, to connect, to give, and also to take notice. So this was developed a long time ago now by the New Economics Foundation. I then started to really focus on the attitudes of mindfulness, like curiosity, the beginner's mind, gratitude, appreciation, compassion, non-judgment, non-striving, and there's a few more. And then more recently, I've developed my own framework, which I call the 7 C's Plus, which is more around helping us to use our sight and photography to build resilience as we deal with times of uncertainty and change. Now, I developed that, I started developing that about a year ago with the climate crisis in mind. Really, it's something that is very dear to my heart, and I'm quite involved in climate change related activism as a photographer mostly, and I don't really have time to go into the details of that particular of this framework right now, but there is more information on my website. But I basically use a combination of the things I've just mentioned, plus a whole load of other things, creative, participatory approaches to photography, therapeutic approaches, as well as, the therapeutic benefits of being in nature is actually a massive part of what I do. So I'm not a phototherapist, and I don't tend to even refer to my work generally as therapeutic photography, although from the feedback I get, that is something that participants from my workshops and courses refer to quite a lot. Oh, that was really therapeutic. So that brings me to today, literally to today. So I woke up this morning. Here we are in the UK. We're in I think it's week 7 of lockdown. And the last couple of days, I've actually been really struggling with all the uncertainty that we're facing, and just not knowing how long this is all going to go on for, and how things, when things are going to change, how they're going to change. And I woke up this morning feeling really quite anxious. So I thought, I know what I need. I need a walk in nature. So I came up to where I'm standing now. I was just walking up from the area behind me. And as I approached what I'm about to show you, it just felt really important. And it's a really good illustration of how I work, as well as hopefully the benefits that this can offer you and others that you work with. So I was just walking up, and had nothing particularly in mind, but my eyes were open, obviously, and then I was feeling really I'll show you first. So this is what I came across. So a skip, basically. A skip full of mostly rusty barbed wire, and a few cans of lager, cans of beer, other bits of rubbish. And when I saw this, I thought, wow. I had a closer look. I mean, I love colours, I love textures, something that, I'd automatically drawn to something like this, and the skip here, the colours, the textures again, and I'm sure that as fellow photographers, you totally get what I'm talking about. But there was something more to it. So I thought I was feeling really trapped, and I thought, God, this barbed wire, it's kind of like, it's that idea of feeling trapped and wanting to break out, but not being able to break out, and actually wanting more freedom, but being really restricted, but wanting to break free. And coming on this walk and thinking, okay, so I'm open to nature and other things teaching me something as I go on my walks. And I had another look, and then I noticed, I started to notice more clearly the nettles, the stinging nettles. I thought, oh wow, that's so interesting. So stinging nettles, as I'm sure a lot of you will know, are one of the most amazing, nutritious foods that we can eat right now, and because they are full of iron, far, far, far higher in iron content than spinach or most other things. But if you eat nettles, you can make them into soup. Really tasty, by the way, especially with garlic and cream. But you can make them. Sorry, they're also amazing for building up the immune system, which of course is also highly relevant right now. And I just suddenly thought, my God, here we are, or here I am looking at this barbed wire, which is basically expressing how I've been feeling the last few days, feeling trapped and estrangulated almost by what's going on, to then looking at this nettle and thinking, okay, so for me right now, that is about self-care. It's about nurturing myself, caring for myself. What do I need right now to look after myself within this situation? And it's amazing. I just loved how nature finds its way of, amongst that sort of almost chaos of the barbed wire sprouting out. And if I wanted to, I could actually pick that bit of nettle right now, and obviously I might get stung. And I haven't got a bag with me, so I'm not going to pick it. But it's teaching me to really look after myself right now, to give myself what my body needs, which is more walks, probably less wine. But yeah. And that's kind of what happens when I go on walks on my own. But I'm now going to sit down because I need to give my arm a bit of a rest. But also, I love this yellow behind here. And what I've realised is how much the colour yellow, but also blue, yellow and blue at the moment really make me feel happy. So if I wear yellow and blue, I just feel so much happier. So my time's nearly up. And I'm rambling, and I'm not actually saying what I was planning on saying, but I'm just going with the flow. So just very briefly, the work I do, I run workshops, day workshops. I run 6 to 8 week courses as well, with charities, often not-for-profit organisations in the arts and health-related field, and increasingly in the public sector. Sorry, I just had a message pop up. And increasingly also in the corporate world. So I'm being asked to go into workplaces and do workshops in mindful photography, for team building, for helping people gain clarity and focus in their work, and work more effectively, efficiently, and to stay engaged and motivated, which again at this time is appropriate. And I've had to, I decided to go online, so I'm now running online courses. The next one starts on the think it's the 6th. I'm just going to check my notes. I did actually make some notes, but I haven't looked at them. When is it? Yeah, the 6th, so Saturday, the 6th of June. So it's going to be 4 weeks, 4 Saturdays for an hour and a half, 10 till 11:30. So, and also I have a free activity program which you can download from my website. And please also, if you're interested to find out more, sign up for my newsletter. There'll be I'm going to be posting a lot more info about what's coming up over the next few months. So my website is look-again.org. That's look-again.org. Or if you want to email me, it's ruth@look-again.org. I hope that's been interesting. I could tell you a huge amount more and actually show you a lot more practical things which I would love to do, but hopefully we can all meet properly next year. And yeah, bye for now.